For generations, the middle class was seen as the ideal path to stability. Get a good job, buy a house, raise a family, and slowly build a comfortable life over time. But today, more people are beginning to feel like that system no longer works the way it used to. Rising housing costs, inflation, taxes, debt, and stagnant wage growth are making it harder for middle-income earners to actually build lasting wealth, even when they appear financially stable on the surface. Today we will talk about the middle class is a trap. Here's the math that proves it so. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, also subscribe to my channel. 10. The middle class was once designed to feel stable. For decades, the middle class represented security. A steady job, a home, a car, yearly vacations, and retirement savings were seen as signs that life was working the way it should. People believed that if they studied hard, worked consistently, and followed the traditional financial path, stability would naturally follow. And for a long time, that system worked reasonably well for many families. But over time, the economic structure quietly changed. Housing costs increased faster than wages. Education became more expensive. Healthcare costs exploded. Inflation slowly reduced purchasing power. Yet the expectations of middle-class life stayed the same. This created a hidden financial pressure that many people feel today, but struggle to explain clearly. 9. Income increased slowly while expenses accelerated rapidly. One of the biggest mathematical problems facing the middle class is the gap between wage growth and cost growth. In many economies, salaries increased gradually over the years, but essential expenses rose much faster. Housing, childcare, insurance, transportation, utilities, and education all became significantly more expensive relative to average income. On paper, many households technically earn more money than previous generations did. But in practical terms, much of that income disappears immediately into higher living costs. This creates the illusion of progress, while real financial flexibility quietly shrinks. 8. Debt became the tool keeping the system alive. Another major reason the middle class feels trapped is debt dependency. Many families now rely on mortgages, student loans, car financing, and credit cards, simply to maintain what is considered a normal lifestyle. Debt allows people to access things earlier, but it also locks future income into repayment obligations for years or decades. This creates a cycle where people continue working not only to build wealth, but simply to service existing debt. The math becomes difficult, because large portions of income are permanently committed before people even decide how to use their money. 7. Inflation quietly reduces purchasing power every year. Most people focus heavily on how much money they earn, but fewer focus on how much their money can actually buy over time. Inflation changes this equation quietly. Even moderate inflation gradually reduces purchasing power year after year. If salaries fail to outpace inflation consistently, households effectively become poorer in real terms despite earning more nominal income. This is why many middle-class families feel financially stuck even after receiving raises or promotions. Their income rises, but so do the costs surrounding them, often at an even faster pace. 6. Lifestyle inflation keeps people running in place. As income increases, spending often increases alongside it. Bigger homes, newer cars, subscriptions, upgraded lifestyles, and social expectations all expand gradually with higher earnings. This is called lifestyle inflation. The problem is that many people never truly increase their financial freedom because every income gain gets absorbed by higher monthly expenses. Instead of building assets, they build larger financial obligations. From the outside, life may appear more successful, but internally, financial pressure often remains constant or even increases. 5. The tax structure often hits the middle class hardest. Another reason the middle class feels financially squeezed is taxation. Wealthy individuals often own businesses, investments, or appreciating assets that receive different tax treatment than traditional wages. Lower-income households may receive social support programs or tax relief. But middle-class earners frequently rely heavily on salaried income, which is taxed directly and consistently. This means many households lose significant portions of earnings before money even reaches their bank accounts. Combined with rising living costs, this reduces the amount available for long-term wealth building. 4. Most middle-class wealth is tied to one asset. For many middle-class families, the primary form of wealth is their home. While home ownership can be valuable, it also creates concentration risk, because so much financial stability depends on one asset and one local market. At the same time, housing often comes with large mortgages, maintenance costs, taxes, and long-term debt obligations. This means many people appear wealthy on paper, while remaining cash flow constrained in daily life. Their net worth may increase, but their financial flexibility stays limited. 3. The system rewards asset ownership more than labor. One of the biggest financial realities most people eventually discover is that wealth grows differently for people who own assets versus people who rely only on earned income. Salaries grow slowly and are taxed continuously. Assets like businesses, stocks, and real estate can compound, appreciate, and generate passive income over time. This creates a widening gap between those who own productive assets and those who primarily exchange time for money. The middle class often gets trapped in the labor side of the equation, where income depends heavily on continuous work rather than ownership. 2. Financial freedom requires surplus, and many families have none. The math behind wealth building depends heavily on surplus income, the amount left after expenses. Investing, asset ownership, entrepreneurship, and financial growth all require extra capital. But many middle-class households operate with extremely thin margins after covering basic living costs. Even relatively high salaries may leave little room for meaningful investing once debt payments, taxes, housing, and daily expenses are deducted. This creates a difficult cycle where people work hard but struggle to accumulate the surplus necessary to escape financial pressure long-term. 1. The real middle-class trap. The deeper truth about the middle-class trap is not that hard work has no value. It is that modern economic systems increasingly reward ownership, investing, and scalable assets more than labor alone. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.